Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Great Wizard Bukake, your host. Our heroes have made it into Baldur's Gate. Gartok couldn't figure out the magic fueling Grizwold the Ram. Quinny talked his way past the bridge, and Butthole struggled to pronounce the names of every gang leader in Baldur's Gate. But can our heroes figure out how to overthrow the Nightmare Lord and ultimately save the city? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
You find yourselves in Baldur's Gate. Having traveled through the Cloakwood, killed the weird asshole monster hunter Rafe Stone, stealing his wagon, repainting it, repurposing it, taking his clothes, taking his stuff, making some monster friends, lying your way past overly trusting guards, befriending a Dompier information broker, and making your way through the various outer districts of the outer city and into the lower city. You finally arrived at the Elf Song Tavern, where all good adventures in Baldur's Gate begin, because Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance was my first exposure to D&D proper, and I love it. So here you are, listening to a song that lives rent-free in my head, as I think I mentioned in our Avernus show. And you are in Zabiana, the Dompier's information broker lair, which is, of course, just a room she's had for a long time at the Elf Song. She has laid out a plan for all of you. You're here searching for information about Raish Grey that Zabiana can now provide, given that you've kind of proved your mettle and gotten you in. But the sort of issue at hand is the rise of the Nightmare Lord within Baldur's Gate, seemingly a member of the Unseen Hand who has kind of set out on their own. The Nightmare Lord has disrupted the Guild, the main kind of criminal underground of Baldur's Gate, has managed to start international incidents and is gaining larger and larger footholds, as well as being tied to the death of Raish Grey, which we'll talk about in a moment. And Zabiana has shared this information with you for free on the condition that you deal with the Nightmare Lord once and for all. Her recommendation for how to do this is to help the guild get back on its feet, because if the various districts begin to disrupt the Nightmare Lord's operations, his attention will be spread around. A little bit of the send Legolas and Gimli and Aragorn to assault the tower so that you can sneak a ring into the pit kind of situation. So first task at hand is to figure out which members of the guild you want to help, how you want to get the various districts back up and running. Second part is to draw the Nightmare Lord's attention. If you can start up a business of some sort that is either criminal in nature or is successful enough to warrant being targeted by a criminal organization, you might be able to find the lead on the Nightmare Lord himself. Given the cloak and dagger and subterfuge that surrounds the Nightmare Lord's operations, you can't just kind of go out and find him. He doesn't have a citadel you can find. You're going to need some kind of in to track him. And whether that is impressing him or being too tempting not to hit, you'll need that. However, if his operation is not disrupted by the time you do that, he will likely kill you. So better to just disrupt things a bit, as well as possibly getting the Flaming Fist back in line. That's another one of the options you have before you. So that the law also starts to hassle him. Zabiana has presented all of this and has asked if you have any questions as you sit in her office.
Okay, I got a couple of questions about some spots, because I feel like most areas I kind of know where it is, and there's like a gang and then a leader and then kind of a problem. And I realize there are a few on my list. What's the name of the gang in Sow's Foot? Because I know it's Ryan Belcher. And he's got
currently
there problem.
There isn't one.
Okay,
that's so Ryan's problem. So Ryan
got it. Because he's at a meet, so nobody's following him, so he needs meat. Okay,
correct. I'll also say that, as I mentioned, often the citizens of Baldur's Gate will band together. The butchers are a force to be reckoned with. As you can imagine, from people who spend all day chopping meat, they are a big burly crew. So wherever the slaughterhouse goes, natural protection follows. So Ryan can basically get his gang back on its feet and have the additional protection of the butchers if the slaughterhouse is back in his district.
But the slaughterhouse is over in Stony Eyes.
Correct.
Okay, so they've got the slaughterhouse.
Tabby Hamhawk was made one hell of a deal and moved it to Stony Eyes. And the porters of Stony Eyes are not thrilled with this, because it means that when they come home after a long day of hauling people's shit around, they smell slaughterhouse.
Yeah, so that's a problem for everybody. In Little Callum's Shame, is there a gang?
Bit of an interesting case there. The Right Pashas are a local gang, local to Little Kalmshan. They're very protective of it and are not a part of the guild. Now, Nine Fingers Keen is, forgive the pun, keen to have a foothold within there, and sent one of her personal bodyguards, Rilsa Rail, in to attempt to start herself up as a kingpin in that area. The Right Pashas haven't been particularly welcoming, and so Rilsa continues to kind of slam up against them there.
Okay, do the Right Pashas have a leader, and is their name Pasha?
No, the Pasha is a rank.
Cool. Okay.
Their leader is one known as Honest Fred.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting that.
It's a good name. And then Rilsa Rail. Does Rilsa Rail's like startup have a name there, or just Rilsa's getting stuff done like on guild behalf?
So far, the Right Pashas haven't let any of Rilsa's crew live long enough to warrant a name.
God, really hard to brand when everyone's dead. Yeah,
correct. Yes, Rilsa herself, being one of Nine Fingers' bodyguards, is incredibly deadly and has managed to extricate herself from these situations. But yeah, recruitment's a bit of an issue there.
Okay, and then in Stony Eyes. Is there a leader of the Bloody Hands gang?
The leader is a man known as B.J. Harvey. You can often find him with his father, Bob Harvey, following him around rather awkwardly. He's a strange fellow, B.J. Harvey, but you don't come to be the head of the Bloody Hands gang without being incredibly violent and dangerous. So despite his somewhat schlubby demeanor, he is truly a force to be reckoned with.
And is he happy to have the slaughterhouses? Does he have a different problem where he like hates meat or something?
He has bad blood with Mr. Belcher. He used to be a regular at both that place and that other place, but he got into
what place?
That is the name of the restaurants. I'm not going to do a who's on first thing with you about this, but yes, the name of Belcher's restaurants are that place and that other place.
He's got 2 restaurants?
2.
Got it. See, that makes sense to me.
Because when he wanted it, the deal, as I understand it, was when people are hungry, they say, hey, I want to go to that place. Like, oh, I'm tired of that place. Well, how about that other place? And then they go to that one.
Yeah, then it's super clear. It's the
that's
thing,
interesting.
The thing people think of right away.
Oh.
But
and in a misunderstanding, the default would be like, oh, the person was like trying to think of the name of another place. And they said that, that place, and then someone takes them to that place.
Somebody's like, I love that place. And
I'm with you, Gartok. I was having a hard time.
Pretty brilliant.
It's pretty good branding. Okay, that's good to know for when I'm advising the Prinks on how she should do things. Because I am not. I am dark. Shadow smoke.
Oh, man. Okay. Okay, so his problem is bad blood with Belcher.
Yeah,
obviously because he stole the slaughterhouses.
Yeah, Ryan got a little tired of Bob Harvey hanging around and just commenting on the weather and the days and how things were going. So he booted him out of that place and that other place, which led to BJ fucking him over.
Getting mad.
Bribing Tabby Hamhawk to move the slaughterhouse.
Okay, so it was personal. So realistically, he's probably the only person who's pretty happy with his current setup.
Yeah, he is very happy with it. And he's got the butchers hanging around to fuck anyone up who gets in his way. So yeah, BJ's in a good shape right now. The Bloody Hands are living large. They're one of the only guilds that isn't on the back foot.
Okay. Okay, so somebody who knows the inside then. Does that mean the Nightmare Lord may have helped sort out this problem if they're the one gang who seems chill under the Nightmare Lord?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Nightmare Lord had at least given them his blessing. Yes.
All right, so we got a lot of gangs and a lot of ways we could look at serving problems. Also, if we're going to make ourselves famous, this may prove to be incredibly lethal, as the Nightmare Lord will be coming after us personally.
Yep.
Just going to check in with you, Quinny, to see how you're feeling about the whole team being here, if there's anybody you think shouldn't be put at tremendous risk, or if you're feeling good about it.
Zabiana raises a hand and says, listen, you give me 2 minutes, I'll arrange a room for you that you can just have here. Would that be useful?
I mean, sure, yeah, I'm not going to turn down a room.
She goes to the door, she's like, Queenie! Queenie, we're taking another room. Put it on my tab.
Queenie?
No relation.
Amazing.
Oh.
Yep. And she says, okay. Yeah, you can take the room at the end of the hall. That's the one that Queenie saves for me when I need to house a client. So, you
Perfect.
can go tuck in there if you want to have secret conversations without me. Just don't fuck me on this.
Oh, no.
Says the little girl slamming her beer mug on the table aggressively.
This is going to work for all of us. We just got to come up with... Because I feel like you gave us a good plan outline. We just got to talk details now, which is good.
She'll say, okay, a couple things before you go off in
please,
Steam. Yeah. Any 5 of these things should be enough to knock
okay.
to knock the Nightmare Lord off his game a little bit. So I was trying to figure out which ones I would do, but again, little girl Dom Pierce, somewhat limited options. Mm-hmm. So whichever ones you pick, that should be enough. If you want to do more, you can, but
Yeah, we're doing the work we're doing.
Yeah,
if the Flaming Fists come back on duty, is that 1 of 5, or do they count as more?
Yeah, no, I'd say that would be one of the 5. Because the problem with the Flaming Fist is that they won't work for you. They'll just do better, which will in turn fuck up the Nightmare Lord. I should also say the Upper City is patrolled by a group called the Watch. They're hired specifically by the Patriarch. They work for the rich people. They're not going to help you at all. Every night they ring a bell to kick everyone who isn't a Patriarch out of the Upper City. So basically the only reason you should be going up there is if you want to talk to the Grand Duke. Otherwise, stay the hell away from there. It's going to be more trouble than it's worth. Unless you want to play the King card, in which case, you can go live it up, I guess.
Yeah, that doesn't really
I'd say stick to the Lower City and the Outer City. Lower City's got its problems too, but Outer City is really where you don't want the Nightmare Lord looking where we are. You want him looking just outside the wall,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Wait, who's the leader of the River Rats? Because they got shipping problems.
They do.
The River Rats.
The Rivington Rats are run by a guy by the name of Hap the Kilner Jooms. Hap is, known for drowning people in the river if they piss him off. But the Rivington Rats issue is how to put this, vigilante who is taken to raiding their ships along the river. They leave a small carved duck every time they do it that just floats by. The boat's gone and just a duck floats back. So they become known as Luck Duck, a hilarious scourge of the river. So... The Rivington Rats, they've lost almost their entire smuggling business to the folks across the river in Twin Songs. So in order to get them...
the Straight Sticks?
Yeah, Straight Stick and his group. Yeah,
Straight Stick is the leader.
He's the guy, yeah. He's a bit of an asshole, but he's there, yeah.
And what's his group's name? I just had them written down as the Straight Sticks on my scroll, which is clearly wrong.
Well, I mean, he would probably love that. To be honest, they're they're known as the Faithless because they hang out near the temples. They think it's cool. His issue, if you want to go down that road,
he's the ex-wife, right?
The ex-wife, yeah. Apparently, rumor has it that he's been planning to attack Brampton for some time to really stick it to her by looting and torching the place. So you can either help him with that, or you can try and resolve things with the wife. The other issue is, he's getting on. He's about 70, and he just keeps going on about the ex-wife. And his singular focus on attacking the place that he smuggles things into means that he has also lost the hill. The werewolves moved in and took the hill. So they used to be able to smuggle across the hill as well, but now they have to go by water because the werewolves are there. So... the gang's a little twitchy about him and his leadership, but you mentioned you want to kill that werewolf too, right? You guys want to do a lot of killing while you're here?
It's not a priority. Wolf, yes. We got to deal with that.
Yeah, we got to deal with the wolf. I'm guessing this is going to go with the killing direction.
Let's see. We got to see if we could do some good while we're here as well as solving this problem.
I mean, historically speaking, we'll help out some people while killing some significant players.
And she just gives you a full De Niro shrug. It's kind of like, that sounds good to me. And Jenny's like, sounds awesome to me.
Jenny, it's not awesome. It's necessary.
Yeah, and necessary.
Dark shadow smoke.
Oh, shit.
This will be the death of me.
Dark
Zabiana's like, I think it's going to be the
smoke.
death of her, quite frankly. But look, it's fine. It's fine. I'm on team you guys. Go us, I guess, dads. So don't worry about it. I'm not going to tell anyone about your little royal secret over here. Yeah, do the necessary part where you kill the Nightmare Lord. And if you want to kill the werewolves who were thought to be a myth but have been living in the caves along the Dusthawk Hill for generations, their leader, a fiery red wolf, from what I understand, is known as Zog the Goblin Shredder. You want to guess how he got that name?
Shredding goblins.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh no,
Nailed
I
it
should
in
not
one.
be a goblin for this adventure.
Or maybe it's time for a goblin to get their vengeance on this son of a bitch, you know?
He's a vicious son of a bitch indeed. As I understand it, he let his clan run the operation out of the hills for some time, but when it became clear that the undead had risen and a lich lord was wreaking havoc, even the big bad wolf has to retreat somewhere. So he moved back to the hill, and with Straight Stick being too focused on his domestic issues, Zog was able to move right back in. So if you take out Zog, that will mean that the Faithless can resume their smuggling operations across the hill, which is a bit of a fuck you to the Nightmare Lord, who doesn't seem to be working with the wolf necessarily, but seems to appreciate having a free problem for all of the guild.
Got it. That makes sense. Okay. I feel like we got the information we need. We'll go to our room and come up with a plan. We'll come back and check in with you if we need more information or when we know what we're doing. To make
Yes,
sure it makes
again,
sense.
I'm happy to tell you anything you want about the regions we've been through. To recap for you, before you go to plan, Rivington rats can no longer smuggle because they're being raided by the Luck Duck. They're losing all the business to the Twin Songs. So if you can figure that out, that gets them back on their feet. In Twin Songs, Straight Stick is really distracted by planning an attack on his ex-wife's domain by fucking up Brampton. He's also lost control of Dusthawk Hill, which has really pissed off his own gang. So resolving that one way or another, we'll get that gang back on its feet. In Sow's Foot, you've got Ryan Belcher's Burger Joints running out of meat because he had a falling out with BJ Harvey over his dad being just a layabout. And as a result, the Hamhawk Slaughterhouse moved to Stony Eyes. If the slaughterhouse moves back, Belcher's back in business. Or alternatively, I guess you could reinforce Stony Eyes. But the Porters are pretty pissed about the smell, so they might be happy if that place is out of there. In Whitkeep, you've got Ganthal's Gallants, those motherfuckers who refuse to rob women. I understand that there's a member of the gang, Benny the Bard, who is unhappy with the way Tottenham Gant Hall is running things. He and his wife, Missy the Jet, they want to rob everybody. They think robbing everybody is the way to go, and are looking to replace Tottenham. So you could replace Tottenham. You mentioned earlier, though, you want to rob no one, so that might mean killing all three of them, but I'll leave that up to you. In Little Kalmshan, the guild cannot get a foothold, so if it did, that would probably fuck up the Nightmare Lord's stuff a bit. Alternatively, if the right pashas aren't worried about the guild trying to get a foothold, they might be able to turn their attention to ruining the Nightmare Lord's day a little bit. So dealing with that one way or another could help. In Northchapel, you got Remy Pancake, who wants to establish the Flippers as a gang. As I understand it, Nine Fingers Keen doesn't take a guy named Remy Pancake too seriously. So you'll need to help him basically do something noteworthy, likely moving against one of the other kingpins or one of the other districts in order to, earn a name for himself. In Stony Eyes, you've got the Slaughterhouse. The Bloody Hands gang is likely tied to the Nightmare Lord, so disrupting them disrupts him. And that brings us to here. So those are your options. And there's the Flaming Fist, who are a little disorganized because the Grand Duke hasn't been the same since he came back. If you're unaware of that situation, I realize not everyone knows. A mercenary band known as the Stained came through town, bit of a whirlwind, killed one of the dukes, made off with a cursed shield that was apparently causing tremendous violence in the city, and by all accounts disappeared into hell. The Duke returned sometime thereafter, as did the city of Elturel, and he told great tales of these mercenary heroes who saved him. But he, to quote the stage character Hank Hill, ain't been quite right since he returned. So the Flaming Fist is in disarray.
What does it mean that he's not right? He's not the same. How?
I don't get to spend time with the fancy folks. These are just the rumblings and grumblings,
the rumors?
The rumors coming out. But he was the head of the Flaming Fist, and he was elevated to Grand Dukedom, which was quite a stir. He's not one of the old families. He's a military man. So under his tenure, the one thing you could trust in the city was that the Flaming Fist was being run properly. But then he disappeared when the city disappeared. He was tricked into going to El Turel, and when it disappeared, he went with it. So he was gone for a while, and the Flaming Fist infighting began, different commanders trying to get one-upmanship on each other. By the time he came back, he was able to restore a bit of order, but no one's seen him out patrolling. He's not looking. He used to take great pride in looking at the troops. We'd see him around. No one's seen him out and around.
Did he just wander back one day?
That's what I'm told.
But El Turel didn't come back, did it?
He did.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Big
much has
city down the
happened.
road. Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like to know about Raish Gray before you go? I got a lot of exposition for you.
I mean, I do want to know it, but you're not in mortal danger right now, right?
Well, no.
Will it affect this plan?
Only in as much as it was something you asked me for, and it might be something to keep an eye out for. But no, this is more...
if it's something to keep an eye for, now you got to tell it. You said the magic word. Tell me the whole story.
She's
Got to
like,
be a lot of questions.
Magic word. Tell him the story. She's like,
Yep.
Shut up. Okay. So...
Raish Gray.
So which gang is he running? I'm joking. I know they're
Very, very
dead
dead.
and a criminal.
Raish Gray was an upstart politician. As we understand it, they had eyes on the vacant dukedom seat. However, they were a true optimist. They were always out and about talking about a crime-free Baldur's Gate, which is deeply hilarious. Truly a starry-eyed optimist. Rumor has it that they were desperate to join the Harpers, a band of do-gooders who like to move through the shadows and quote, help situations. Believe me when I tell you, the last thing the Harpers want or need is some starry-eyed optimist wandering around making grand proclamations. Forgive me, that's more of a Lord's Alliance thing. So, Raish was sent, as I understand it, on a mission to Asgard, which I assume at this point you would have told her where you're going.
He's not lying.
Yeah,
He's fine with this, yeah.
Sent to your realm as a delegate. However, as I understand it, they were suspected of being a Harper. I've talked to my agents within the Harpers, and one Raish Gray was never accepted into that group. What I have heard is that the Nightmare Lord presented himself as an agent of the Harpers, convinced your Raish Gray to carry out an assassination in a foreign nation and frame a different nation to cause a series of wars out in the east to keep the nation of Cormyr distracted long enough to grow an empire here. Upon returning, Raish was found killed with yet more Harper sigils left with their body. So it would seem that your agent was triple-crossed and is now dead.
That's some bad luck.
I mean, we found this information. Perfect, actually. That's going to answer a lot of our questions there, so we can figure out our plan in that regard as well.
Okay, enjoy your hotel room. She goes and sits down and starts drinking her beer.
Thank you very much. We'll go down the hall. All right, friends. We received a lot of exposition, which means it's time for us to exposit. So
We're going to the bathroom?
I've had... no, I'm good for now.
Okay.
I farted a lot in the carriage, but I don't need to poop yet. We haven't eaten in a while. Yeah. Oh.
Fred goes, yes!
Yeah, there were windows, but still. Okay, so first things first, before we dive into this plan, Quinny, you'd said that there might be a point where this mission became dangerous enough that you did not want Ginny to be here.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet, but once we get the Nightmare Lord's attention, that's basically going to be,
Correct. I don't know at what point we're going to get the Nightmare Lord's attention, actually, versus when the Nightmare Lord will move. I will also point out, Ginny, apologies, no one has managed to maintain this cover story at all. So I don't think Zabian is like a threat to us, don't get me wrong. She seems pretty reasonable. We seem to be aligned in terms of interests. But knowing who Ginny is has zero value right now because nobody here knows. Asgard doesn't matter. There's nothing here. That secret actually just increases in value over time as we move further away from being here.
right.
So, dark shadow smoke. It's burnt.
Yeah.
If we wander anywhere else, more people know Ginny and know Ginny's face, and we're pissing off people who might even be... If Raish Grey is the Nightmare Lord's play, I don't know who's running the Nightmare Lord, but there may be somebody above that. They could just be a spy, but they could be somebody above that. So I'm just saying, like, if you're good for us to keep rolling, we'll keep rolling. But also, if Ginny knows the whole plan and decides to run away, sorry, Ginny, this is kind of an emotional zone of truth, she can keep following us around and trying to help enacting the plan.
And she raises a hand.
Ginny, what's up?
Yeah, okay. So look, I know historically me running off and sometimes put myself in danger to kind of help, and admittedly helping in a certain Fries-related war.
Yeah, you tried to sell your soul.
Yeah, but, it worked, right? It worked out. He died, and I didn't sell my soul, so it was fine. Also, I don't think you get to...
I feel like you had him more on your side before you got into picking a fight with him. So
yeah,
where are we leaning towards? No, I'm just trying to help.
The little vampire girl really pissed me off. Okay, so...
Valid.
Look, I know I've been a problem for you guys before, and I'm working up to be Prinks and also insert cool alias that I'll work on here.
Yeah, you might need to do something light related and really change the look, because it's got to be unbelievable that it's you.
Yeah, okay, I'll think about that. I'll work on that. But look, I know I fucked you guys over before, so here's what I'm thinking. I think I can still help. I think I can still be of service here, but I don't want you worrying that I'm going to run off and cause stuff. So here's what I'm just going to say.
Yeah.
Let me do the errand work while you guys are doing the big work. You guys pick your targets, and I can make some contacts. I can talk to some people. I'll just operate as my own little agent over here. I won't go with you on stuff. I'll keep it all very local. I'll just be another rogue in Baldur's Gate asking around, not about the Nightmare Lord, but just kind of getting a lay of the land. Let me be your rogue intern.
Okay, but we're going to pay you because I don't believe in
yeah. Well, you're giving me a kingdom, so we're fine. But I just mean I might be able to get some stuff on the ground. There might be some other interactions and stuff. But you're not going to go to a tavern and just listen to people talk. You're too busy for that. But I can do that.
That makes sense to me. How's that for you, Quinny?
Yeah, it's fine for now. I reserve the right to send you home at the drop of a hat.
I understand that. I already got to play Crocodile Dentist, so this has been a big win trip for me.
Yeah, as soon as things feel too dangerous, you're getting on a little ram statue thing, and it is growing in size and spiriting you back to Asgard.
And I'd say, so why don't we just, honestly, from this point forwards, we'll just use the name Ginny. There's no last name attached. If we were worried about cover or anything like that, frankly, that'll draw less attention than dark shadow smoke anyways, if you're going to have to go out and deal with other thieves.
Yeah, although they would absolutely love the name.
It is a very good name.
I do love the name.
But we might be able to make something work there. But okay. This makes sense to me. Maybe we can do an ash thing across the eyes. You get a little bit of mask. I don't want to take style away from it.
Well, I mean, I also think there are some good mask shops here, so I'll shop around and see
what
I can find that has eyes.
Yeah, if you want one. I do have I reach into my bag and I look around and I'm like, I have a long Dr. Strange cape.
No, I'm good with my cloak.
Yeah, no, you look good. Okay, so when it comes to the plan, we got a couple of things. So Raish Grey is somehow linked to the Nightmare Lord, who's clearly a threat to us and our entire region. Plus, if we can, we might want to either take the Nightmare Lord alive or get proof, because it sounds like Vinton is pretty determined about this.
Vassar would want this guy's head for sure. He tried to frame that whole nation. Yeah, Vinton would want it.
And if we could deliver a live bonus, but I don't know how dangerous this person is. But
am I missing something? What's this Nightmare Lord's business with fucking with nations way out east?
So what we've been told is former unseen hand agents. So if you're talking about people who went rogue and then bored a bunch of stuff, and then to keep everybody distracted enough that they can. This feels like step one in a larger plan. Take over all the gangs in Baldur's Gate. Work your way through the rest of the alliance, keep the east busy, then work your way east would be my guess.
All right.
It's a classic, keep everybody off. It's literally what we're going to try to do here. Keep everybody off balance and then kill the person who's in charge.
Yeah, it just feels
we definitely need more information.
Weird, yeah.
Yeah, Quinny, I will say, can you roll me a history or an take investigation?
+6 for an 18.
18. This is the kind of shit you read about in Emily and Archibald's files. They didn't do a lot of this because they were big enough to kind of have more, they could just show up with warcasters and things and do shit. But just this idea, like this was very much Archibald's play. Things like the Quinny clones or like Butthole, all these things just essentially like set off little micro bombs everywhere and keep everyone constantly a little bit off balance. So what's weird is you're seeing essentially an underling attempt what their boss would have been doing, but it does feel like a reach, and also it doesn't feel that effective.
Yeah, because it led us right to him. We've got a big help from Vinton with the letter and stuff like that, but we're here. We're in his neighborhood. We're about to fuck his shit up. What was he thinking?
He was, if this idea is being shared aloud.
Yeah, he's vocalizing.
He didn't know we existed. If this had been like an Archibald and Emily, they definitely would have been like, these motherfuckers murdered each other and just been done. They didn't care about local politics. So I don't know if he expected a series of smart Reginald detectives and expert award-winning thief Quinny. We're brand new.
Well, I mean, I get just the fact, like, even that was something we had to do as a new nation, right? Like, we had to make sure that this was figured out, or else we were done.
Yeah.
But
that doesn't matter, because if we were bad, I think
Ray Stray was sent here with the Alliance contingent to check out Asgard, the new nation.
Oh, I understand what you're saying,
right?
but nobody thought we were going to make it.
Oh, you thought?
Cormier thought they were going to storm in with swords, and then 2 ambassadors get assassinated in the middle. We're dead in a war, or in a war and then dead.
So the fact that we're still a nation already foils the plan. Got it.
That part of it's got to be completely shot, because that was the perfect way. We almost all died 6 different ways. We almost went to 3 different wars. We had to get through that. We won over the people somehow, and they agreed to a bunch of new laws. The series of miracles that took place is insane. So I don't know what the plan is, and we got to figure that out. And maybe if we deal with the guilds, we could see where it's coming from.
Right. I have the start of a plan, but it might be a little too cutthroat for your tastes, your collective tastes. I'm thinking maybe selfishly, and I'm short a spy network right now. And
oh no, you're not thinking that selfishly. I did think the same thing.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was thinking about taking out all of these problematic leaders and uniting everyone under me or someone that I can control remotely.
I was thinking along those lines.
Okay.
I don't want to just create a guild that then goes away. We need a network. Also, you've got a lot of, shall we say, haters that are existing in Asgard that are directly against everything we're trying to do at that place, and we don't need random violent criminals there.
Yeah, they're out of their element now that we're in peace times.
Whereas it feels like if we wanted to prop up a leader of an underworld that was going to be A, useful for spying, and B, reasonable, it seems like every underworld leader in this town is crazy.
Weird hyperfixations, yeah.
And ruining the town.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help by being here's a thieves guild that works professionally. That's why we have a guild as a society, is because having random thieves leads to chaos. Then it's just another part of taxes.
All right, so what do you think? We try to flip Nine Fingers to work for us, or do we replace her? Because that's the guild.
Yeah, I am curious about this Nine Fingers kid. We could probably take a meeting if we want to and just see how that goes, because I'm of the groups we want to deal with or kind of create chaos in the town, I think getting the Flaming Fists to be more empowering, getting the Duke back on board just feels smart. That's...
I mean, I've seen, I've been to Waterdeep, I've been to Neverwinter. This whole Thieves Guild thing works best when there's surface level order and, not wars in the streets from different gangs. And then the guild can just operate underneath that in a relatively bloodshed-free fashion.
Yeah, in a corrupt world, what you want is the police to be there to eliminate the independents who do insane shit.
Yeah, the rowdy boys, yeah.
And to keep the ones they deal with on a professional basis functioning at a functional level.
Yeah.
Just level the playing field for the guilds and keep things pleasant. I'm not saying I like this, to be clear.
Yeah. Does this all sit well with you, Chief Justice, by the way?
I'm not Chief Justice at this. And you're not a king in this.
Yeah,
we're not
fair
playing
enough.
those roles.
Okay, I appreciate the distinction.
We're dealing with the Nightmare Lord. I think we may have to make some concessions in terms of our squeamishness about things.
I love where this is going.
So I'm thinking we got to get the guards back. And I'm thinking our sixth thing, when we start a business, if you want to make a name for yourself or for a new person who isn't the Nine Fingers Kid, then if number 6 is we go kill a werewolf and take the hill, we do that and we install you or that person as the new person who runs Dustbird Hill. Because we know we need to take the werewolves out anyways for the Alpha Gumbo situation.
That's happening one way or another, yeah.
And I can't imagine a way to grab more attention than by putting ourselves in the middle of almost every gang in their shipping. And then let's just say pulling a Robin Hood and making it really friendly for everybody who's like, you can ship for free.
Oh, yeah.
We're here to run security. We just want you to wander through here. We'll do business in the middle. We will be the security, the peacekeepers, if you will, of the criminal world.
For peace.
Yeah, let's not pick the same slogan. Maybe
all right.
For money, something like that. Whatever criminals would think is. You're good at the cool catchphrases.
Peacekeepers for profit.
Profit sounds good.
The Profit Keepers. That's the name of a good gang.
All right. We're nailing the very important facets of this plan.
This is all I care about right now.
Cool gang names.
So they become the Profit Keepers, and essentially it's making sure that crime stays profitable, which I think this town needs. Also would involve a whole lot of spy work. I don't know how to org chart it, so I'm going to leave that to you. But on the list of other people to deal with who have problems, okay, so there's like the luck duck thing, but the luck duck sounds kind of cool. So like, I don't want to kill the luck duck.
No, I mean, I appreciate someone who does a job and leaves a calling card. Like that's just the kind of flair I love.
Yeah,
so.
because it's so innocent. It's also creepy.
I'm sure that appeals to Echo in there, doesn't it?
Oh, she'd love that.
Yeah,
I think she'd like to come out actually, but we'll wait for now.
Honestly, once we start crime time, it feels like a pretty good time for Echo.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
If we're going to start Quinny's Profit Keepers, I think it's quite possible.
She's small and like stabbing in the dark.
Again, that might be the most criminal of all your personalities.
Yeah, sounds like describing me.
Jane's like, and me, maybe someday.
Insight is a 15.
15? Yeah, I think that's good enough. Luck Duck is clearly a disruptive force in the criminal underworld. So to help the Rivington Rats, you would need to disrupt Luck Duck. But you could also potentially leverage Luck Duck on other shit. If they're a like-minded... Because just the way you're all talking lovingly about this criminal, like... This sounds like someone you could get.
Well, they're a vigilante.
Yeah. Fair. Let's have Ginny say this. Ginny goes, it just seems to me that if Luck Duck is ruining one gang and there's other gangs you don't have time to deal with, maybe Luck Duck can help ruin those gangs too.
It feels like the Luck Duck versus the Nightmare Lord is a pretty logical next step. So, like, we could do a Luck Duck team up.
Yeah.
If we want to try to do some work for good, we get the police back, we unleash a murderous vigilante, and then we build up a criminal organization. This does not feel like a normal me plan, but I guess Baldur's Gate gets to you real quick.
It brings out the best in you.
Okay, Luck Duck. If you like that, Quinny, so Luck Duck team up.
I like that. If we could talk to Nine Fingers and get her to, the deal I'm thinking of offering is like you get Baldur's Gate back, but information and whatever else we need flows out of Baldur's Gate to Asgard. I think the down low.
I think my only concern with that, on your behalf, because I've had to hear the other side of this where people just start yelling, you don't get threatened very successfully.
No.
So I don't know, like...
I've also talked to someone, I don't threaten very successfully either. I just end up telling people I'll kill them, and then they don't believe me, and then I kill them. So I got to figure that out.
Okay, so this actually makes sense, because this is leaning right into your weakness, which is if you take someone who is incredibly capable at lying and making a ton of money and surviving, despite someone like the Nightmare Lord who's in town trying to kill them, and then you're like, you have to give me information forever, and then you go around the planet to somewhere else. They're going to stop right away if you don't have a means of enforcing them sticking with the deal.
That's what I figured the haters might help.
If Nine Fingers can't win over the haters, then that might work. But if either Nine Fingers is reasonable, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Or we pick somebody new where like they're not quite criminal enough that they still feel a little bit of loyalty to you.
Okay. I guess I was thinking if Nine Fingers is still surviving under the Nightmare Lord, who sounds like he's fucked a lot of people up, is it easier to go up against her or is it easier to deal with her? And by deal, I mean negotiate.
An important distinction.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anything's possible, man. I don't know.
It just sounds like it might be hard to fight her. She's probably got a lot. Out of everyone, she's probably got the most foot soldiers because she's old guild.
It sounds like the Nightmare Lord might have the most foot soldiers.
Well,
but
now, but
then
the
the guild's the next force. So no, I hear you. So okay, so you're saying we gotta
suss her out, I guess, and then decide one way or another.
I'll trust your thieving expertise. Is that one of our 5? That's not changing anything. That's just talking to someone.
We just got to figure out what we're going to do with her.
I'd argue unleashing Luck Duck is likely also less a one of the 5 and more of a like.
Well, that'll
bonus.
help the rats though, right? If we get Luck Duck out of there, then the rats will start shipping.
If Luck Duck.
If we get Luck Duck out of the
I see. Yes, if you reassign Luck Duck somewhere else, that would get the rats.
If we get Luck Duck
out of smuggling,
out of the lake and into the city, we're like, get in there. How do you feel about this Nightmare Lord? I bet he's terrible.
It's very funny. What if we just move Zorro to it? It's like you're rehoming like a squirrel. Like we just put Zorro in a cage and just move him to a different place. He'll just keep Zorroing over there, and we'll be fine.
If we get him high enough up the hill, he won't find his way back to the water.
We'll get him another tornado. He can just ride and ride.
Just get Batman in a box and just like drop him off in Metropolis. He's like, I guess I'm here now.
So the big move is to kill the wolves, which we have to do one way or the other.
For sure.
And then I'm thinking on our list of gangs who have issues, we got the rats are good. We got the guards are coming back. There is... I'm hearing this story about Straight Stick, and he sounds old, insane, and like he hates his ex-wife, and he's going to murder her. And I'm going to tell you, I've never not sided with someone I have not met faster. I am so determined that his wife is both correct and reasonable, and I have no evidence to support that.
He very literally has strong divorce guy energy. So.
Do you think Grandpa Warwick could bond with him?
Oh my God, yes.
I mean, yes, absolutely.
All right.
Here's what I'm thinking, though. I think we go to the wife. And we're like, can you run his district if we kill him? And we just install the wife. She's already got a successful property where there's way more police.
If they were together, she must know like the operations of that territory too. Yeah.
Yeah, she knows the gang. And I think we send in Grandpa Warwick as an inside man for the night that it goes down. Grandpa Warwick makes a friend, spends the night. Ginny can figure out who Grandpa Warwick's got to talk to. Grandpa Warwick's there, the best friend, and then maybe Grandpa Warwick slips, falls. Oh, no, the gate opened. And then the wife comes through, and we solve a societal problem.
Yeah,
You're honestly plagued to all of his strengths.
And what's the ex-wife's name again? Something Diamond?
She was the
Diamond Urchin.
She's the demon urchin.
Okay, Diamond
That's
Urchin. Got it.
Yeah. Okay, so urchin in charge of Faithless.
Straight Stick.
So yeah, that one's like Urchin v. Urchin
V Stick.
v. Stick.
Dawn of Justice.
Featuring Warwick.
Yeah.
It's a collab. Okay.
Battle track?
Killer track. Grandpa Warwick's also on Old Country Road. Old Town Road, man.
So we got the Canthul's gal ants. They aren't robbing anyone who's non-binary or identifies as female at this point.
They're not robbing anyone who's not a man, it seems like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, like, is that a thing we want to change? I'm confused by the ethics, I'm going to be honest.
I'd rather just not have them around, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to fix their problem. I also don't want them to keep...
They kind of give me the ick.
Honestly, they do kind of give me the ick, too. Okay, so...
Maybe that becomes a new Luck Duck base of operations.
I'm going to be honest, that helps the city, but it doesn't help us. But do you know what? I think we should do one thing just for the city. So we will move Luck Duck.
It's like a Boy Scouts thing. You want to leave the campsite better than you found it.
Yeah, Luck Duck goes into Wit Keep. So that's our goal. So okay.
Campsite rules.
That still helps. Yeah. It's like we have to do 5 things for us to make the city better, and we're doing like a 5.5 that's just for the city. Yeah. It's just polite.
It's a little mint on the pillow after we absolutely fuck this place up.
And fill it with spies. You know what? That one makes me feel like me again. It's like, oh, we balance the scale.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they're kind of weird. If we're trying to make things... It's complicated. We're trying to strengthen the guild to confuse the Nightmare Lord, but do we want more things in play? Because there's the idea of if we just, like, kill Rilsa Rail, then right pashas will take over that one area, and we'll have like a new faction that's also on the table.
Yeah, do you think diversifying it is better
That's what
or
I'm asking.
unifying
That's
it?
what I'm asking. What's everybody's opinion? Gartok, as a police officer, if you were trying to create a reasonable situation in this town and you wanted to like throw off the underworld, would you, if you had to choose, because neither of these feel like very you choices, but we're just going to acknowledge
this is a very upsetting conversation. I'm trying to be flippant.
If you had
You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you seem very flippant. Don't
Yeah.
worry. Echo's going to be here in a minute.
I can't wait.
I'm not asking her advice, though. I think the plan would be too scary.
City burns, they will learn.
Wow, that's pretty good.
If you had, okay, you are the Chief Justice
I'm Chief
in
Justice.
a town.
Okay. Chief Justice in a town.
There are two groups that are battling it out. You don't have very many good officers, so you're trying to figure this out.
Okay.
There is a group that we'll call a Nightmare Lord group.
Ooh, nightmarish. Okay.
Yeah, they're run by a Nightmare Lord. They're causing wars and
Don't
doing
like them.
murders, and they're very dangerous. Then you have organized crime.
Organized crime.
They're
Nightmare,
losing the
organized
war
crime.
to the Nightmare.
Okay.
Then there's a third group where they've moved into town. They're small. They're scrappy.
Yep.
You have the ability to make one arrest. You could do an arrest that stops the little group. They go away. So it's just the Nightmare Lord versus the Mafia.
Okay.
Or you could do an arrest that makes the Mafia a little weaker, and then you have the Mafia, you have the new group, and you have the Nightmare Lord all fighting. Who do you arrest?
Wait.
I ran this metaphor a lot in my head, and it's not going to get better than this, so we're going to commit.
Wait. So would there be a team up?
That's a great question I can't answer for you. Maybe. We might be able to organize a team up if we're also talking to the Nine Fingers.
Okay. Wait. Options are assassinate who? Wait. Arrest who?
I regret this.
I was confusing about
Let's
how
get rid
one
of the
led to the
metaphor.
other.
So
I
right
felt like
now-
I got the A and the C, and I missed the B.
Okay, right now we could have three groups in the city that are
Three groups
powerful.
in the city.
Right Pashas in their area, in their zone, and
Yeah.
then the guild.
Right.
And then
Passions
the Nightmare
guild.
Lord.
Nightmare Lord. Okay.
Or would it be better to just have more guild fight the Nightmare Lord and the right Pashas not have the power?
Oh. But do you think the right Passions would also fight the Nightmare Lord?
I'm asking you because I don't know. I mean, I think they'd fight the Nightmare
Zabiana
Lord.
did suggest that if the right Pashas weren't dealing with the guild, they would likely be a pain in the ass. They wouldn't be as big a disruptor, but they would be a pain in the ass to the Nightmare Lord.
So, okay, so the guild wants to fight the Nightmare Lord, but the guild's also be like, fuck you, right Pashas. And like the right Pashas could fight the Nightmare Lord better than the guild can because the guild's being held down. Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, ish.
Yeah, I mean, let the other little groups come in. I don't know.
Great. Okay, so
I mean, the guild the guild was the one who had all the power before the Nightmare Lord came in and then they lost all their power.
They already fucked it up.
Why would we keep them around to solve the problem that they haven't been able to solve themselves all this time?
and if we could take over the hill to take the heat, we need somebody to run the hill, and there's Rilsa Rail, who's a friend of Nine Fingers. If it's Nine Fingers we're teaming up with, then we can go Rilsa. Rather than fighting this very competent gang who can help you fight the Nightmare Lord, why don't you come over here and we'll just give you a kingdom?
Oh, so we'll be like, hey, guild, you know what? Don't worry about the Nightmare Lord. You've done what you can. Just have this little thing out of the way. Be like, right, Pashas, get in there. Is that what you're talking about?
That sounds exciting.
Kind of,
I'm
yeah.
going to say yes.
All right. Sorry, I just had to break it down
No,
like
that's
that.
good.
saw.
That's good.
Yep. So reassign Rissa Rail away from Little Kalmshan. See if you can convince her to leave. She moves to the hill after you set
Yeah.
up the hill for yourselves.
Yeah.
She becomes the kingpin of the hill. That means Little Kalmshan has the right Pashas. Right Pashas can go to work on the Nightmare Lord.
That's all
Yeah.
carrot,
With
no
the guild.
stick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and then I think we're set because either Nine Fingers is reasonable. Quinny, you can make the call if you like Nine Fingers as
Yeah.
your kind of your central agent here.
Yeah.
Or if Nine Fingers ain't the right person, Rilsa Rail could be the right person for your contact, and then Rilsa Rail is still going to be at the center of everything with the entire shipping hill of everything that goes through the town.
That's a great point.
Then you can pick one or the other, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Then we don't have any risks. Then we just need to do one more thing. I mean, most of these things are just moving people from where they are to somewhere else, which is very funny.
moving
But I
people
think
around,
they're
yeah.
pretty good. See, this is why you have to get away from Zabiana, because she's like, I bet you're going to do something that makes sense. And we're like, I don't know about that. Wait until you hear some
No,
metaphors.
we want to be disruptors.
That is so true.
We want to disrupt the disruptor.
Yeah, people would have done the obvious already.
What do you
So
want to
then-
do? You want to move that slaughterhouse back? Just shift the slaughterhouse back to the other neighborhood?
That's the question. We could move the slaughterhouse, which I like, because theoretically,
What if we blew up the slaughterhouse?
Gartok, goddamn.
Sorry,
I'm not mad. I'm just, wow.
Sorry, I'm just thinking disruption now.
just
I don't like it either.
I do,
It doesn't
is what I'm
preserve my
saying.
eternal light. It's actually very bad for maintaining my
Do
oath.
you want to switch to Echo now? Because does Echo have a different oath?
No, it's the same oath. She's just better at tamping it down and the negative feelings for longer.
So if we let Echo kind of, let's just say, as we're already talking about the ham hock slaughterhouses, if we let Echo go ham, does she like break your oath by being too evil?
It's kind of a fine line.
So maybe.
Oh.
Do you trust Echo with this?
I mean, here's the thing. It's for the greater good, and Echo knows that.
Okay.
I don't like it, but Echo believes it.
So Echo's
So
like
I don't think she'll break the oath, but I don't like that there's like a price to be paid, but she doesn't mind. It's very confusing.
So how many buildings do you think Echo would be willing to blow up?
Yeah.
Like tops?
I don't even want to think about it.
Do you know what? Maybe you
There's
should
a
become
reason
Echo.
that
More
It
than
sounds like
3?
I'm going to say
Quinny, please stop. This is very upsetting.
More than 5?
Quinny,
Dad,
now
Dad,
you're just
Dad.
being mean.
Let Gartok work through this.
Okay, so it sounds like Echo's kind of your emotional janitor. There's like a bit of a mess related to your oaths, your ethics, or your feelings. And you're like, oh, we got to do dark stuff. And then Echo comes out and is like, I live for the dark, and then moves the dark and cleans it up.
Yeah.
Is this too dark for you?
It's too dark for Gartok, yes.
Okay. We're happy to have Echo, or if there's somebody else, we got to have Grandpa Warwick to go undercover. That's central to this whole thing.
I'll be honest, Grandpa Warwick has very little idea of what's going on in the larger plan. He
that's
just needs
fine.
a small thing to focus on, and he won't even know.
That's great. We don't want him for
He'll
planning.
preserve his light in the little moments.
Hey, if he can find it. Okay, so if Echo wants to join us for this last stage of the plan, then like, give me a hand, bud.
Shake a leg.
Okay, it's been really nice hanging out with you. Thank you for letting me come along for such a long time in both Selgaunt and here.
You're welcome literally anytime, Gartok.
Yeah.
We're big fans of yours. I'm going to need more inspirational speeches for our nation and other nations.
Jenny's like, I'm really bad at those, so I'm really going to need your help a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to
well,
do a seminar.
I'm just gonna take a little nap for a while and kind of restore my own inspiration to myself.
Okay, take my hand, though, because you might turn into a wolf.
I'm gonna take your hand. And all right, bye. I'm a wolf.
No, bad. Hit you with the
Jenny's
scroll.
just like, holy shit! Oh my god! Oh wow, that's what that is. Oh, okay, yeah. Wow, that sucked. Oh, wolf, go away now. Echo. Like, Jenny's like,
Yeah, 2.5 foot tall halfling, like 6-year-old halfling girl with like white skin, black poofy dress, black eyes, black hair.
hi.
Hello.
Oh no.
Okay, so Echo, we were trying to figure out the end of this plan, and I'm not a king anymore, and for a lot of this plan, I don't even know if I'm going to be Butthole, so I don't know what my ethics are, and if we come up with a character for me that's a murderer, I'm going to go way too deep. Remember Brother Ted? That was a mess.
Buddy, I remember the fucking Forsaken.
Could I just remind you? No, just
Should the Forsaken come back for a mission into the underworld?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want. I mean, how lost in the sauce are you going to get? Because that was annoying for me, too, to have to kind of, like, manage the Forsaken. Because you went deep.
Yeah, but you were dead.
Will being the Forsaken stop your personal ethics from getting in the way of achieving the greater good?
If I can go deep enough.
Oh, man.
If I can fall all the way back into that black hole, then it's possible. There might not be me here. There might not be a king. There would just be a godless monster.
Okay, if you're thinking about this, how do we get you back after?
I mean, I fell into the hole for you, Quinny.
You fell into the hole, I think, because you and Moonhammer were having a miscommunication.
Oh, yeah, it was that.
Then you stayed in the hole because I died.
That's true. You came back to me before. If you come back to me again, I think I can do it.
Come back to... Is it up to me to figure out what coming back to you means?
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, fine.
I don't know how this works. I've never had to willingly go back into that place.
It seems like we're doing this. I mean...
All right, so...
I guess if you need to keep your conscience clean, you got a kingdom to run when you get back out of this.
Do you want me for this final step of the plan, or do you want him?
Why don't you help us plan it, and then he can execute?
Okay, so are we gonna...
Is that enough distance for you?
Yeah, that'll be good, because then I don't have to do the evil stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just talking... I'm going to pretend... Again...
This is a thought experiment.
It's a nightmare guy versus organized crime.
Ginny is now taking notes because she realizes this literal divide you're setting up is exactly what she's going to need in the future. She's like, godless monster. Like listening to Echo, being like, okay, change. But like also trying not to look at Echo because terrifying.
What are you writing?
Oh, I realize when I'm Prinks and or ruler and also TBD cool thief name, I'm going to need to do this same thing. So I'm just taking some notes. Because I also need to keep my conscience clean for the greater good.
She frowns.
Should I not take notes?
You
Please
don't
take...
don't.
I mean...
Echo shrugs.
I'm going to give you one rule. Do not take leadership or ethical advice from Echo. I have to become a different person to do jobs
Folds
with
it up
Echo.
and just eats it.
Oh, I hope you learned what's on
Ginny.
that page. That's how I've learned some things.
We can just burn paper or throw it in the
No,
trash.
I'm doing it right. Don't want to piss off Echo.
But also, don't do what Echo says. You can't let Echo bully you. Otherwise, Echo's the king. Do you want Echo to be the prince?
No, just respect Echo. I think Echo's cool. She's really badass. Look at that.
This is why
She's smiling so
Look
big.
at that. Look at
This
that.
is-
This is what Zabiana wants to be.
she needs Reginald.
Kids,
Yeah. As a fellow dad, I totally understand. My daughter's down the hall.
Just cross her arms.
So, what if we get the whole, like, the Bloody Hands gang, because it sounds like BJ and his dad Bob both like the slaughterhouses. What if
Yeah.
we get them into one slaughterhouse, we just blow that one up so they're dead, then Echo, the Forsaken, and whoever you want to be for this mission, we show up and are like, I think you better move next door, or a couple other buildings are going to get explodey, and we blackmail them into going to the other neighborhood. Then we get rid of the Nightmare Lords gang. Nine Fingers can have that one too. I don't give a shit who ends up in charge. And then what's his face? The other guy, because everyone's just picking
Ryan
fights
Belcher.
for some reason. Ryan Belcher, his beef stores stopped failing, and he gets the ham hock things back.
Yeah, and then instead of being stinky, the neighborhood smells like barbecue.
Oh, that's a pretty good idea. This sounds pretty perfect to me. Blow up one slaughterhouse, then threats. Okay, so if we're building up your persona as this guy who's super useful, do you want to do this as Quinny, or do you want to have a darker identity?
I feel like, there once upon a time I would have wanted credit for all this kind of stuff with my name or a pseudonym, but I think it's got to be someone else who is ultimately thought of as being responsible for this, who is in my pocket.
Okay, so we'll pick somebody else to be the target. Do we need to bring them around so they give speeches, or are you good to be like their spooky employee and we do like a specific costume we could put on somebody else to work here?
I think we can all, the Forsaken, Echo...
Murder Child? Or I have another thought, because I'm still me at this moment, so it's possible.
What?
There was a time where you were a hitman from hell.
Yeah.
So what if we make a new persona called the Hitman, and he's back from hell and sends people there?
All right. I mean, that's better than Murder Child. I'll give you that.
I've already got Death Wolf, so like people know the brand.
Right.
Honestly, if they hear Murder Child, they think it's me.
Hey,
I've already got
you
a
want
Murder
a Murder Child? A new Murder Child?
Sure.
Murder Child 2.0?
I mean, there wasn't as much RDU, I'm going to be honest.
No, I played an active role in suppressing that.
Yeah. Plus, people saw you and they just got excited about me.
Yeah, all right then. Hitman?
I would say we just call you the Hitman.
The
It sounds
Hitman?
creepy.
Okay.
I feel like the Hitman versus the Nightmare Lord is like a pretty good final battle for something.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
And we all have covers that we're going to keep this time.
Except for me, I'm still working on mine, but I'll get a cool one. Also, it seems like you guys are pretty well set, so I'm going to go start doing my intern stuff. Don't get killed fighting this Nightmare Lord, okay?
Same to you.
Yeah, stay sneaky.
Seriously, if you die and go to hell, I will march down there and get you.
Yeah,
and
you're the hitman.
pull you out by your fucking ear.
Okay.
Actually, it might be weirder. I think we have to send other people, but we will.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be good. We're just gonna ask some questions and listen to some bards and stuff. Normal, non-god warlock thief stuff. Okay?
You better. Otherwise, we'll get you out of hell, but we'll leave you in there long enough to learn your lesson.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Good luck. Don't lose yourselves out there. Give them hell.
Yeah, right back at you.
She leaves because she knows shit's about to get real.
Quinny, I just have to say this before I lose myself in a dark quest for the future.
What?
If Ginny dies, she's going to go to Butthole, so, don't worry about the hell thing.
Well, then can we get her back?
Yeah, of course, I can still go there,
Okay,
theoretically.
What? Theoretically?
Well, we're not allowed to go to heaven or hell, but those are different gods, and it's my own space, so we can figure it out. Listen, you're going there too, so, it's going to be fine. You don't have anywhere else you can go, so, it's that or dissolution.
Yeah, fine. Just now I have to contend with, bringing you back out of this trance you're going to be in just to get my dead daughter back. Oh, my God, I'm going to be sick thinking about it.
Well, she's not dead. She's going to be
She
fine.
better not be.
But you have to bring me back out of it, and then you have to explain your needs and wants, which you're not really sure of, but I need to know them explicitly.
Well, I need and want my daughter to stay alive. I can tell you that one right now, and that is not me copping out. That is a very real need and want.
Okay, see, that's good. That's good. I feel like we've got 5 missions here, so I'm sure you have at least 5 needs and wants, just to put a number on it. We could start there and work our way through. So that's number 1. I like that as a number 1. All right, Echo. Mm-hmm. Do you know how to shave someone with your knives?
I know how to flens.
Close enough. Because Butthole has a beard.
No, you don't want to get flensed, Butthole.
But the Forsaken has nothing.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christopher Little, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, Schrodinger's Pepper, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Nithrian, Garbo Ape, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dagger Rain, Rob L, Dia de los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy Funky Head, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky, Lael, Shulzari, The Long Family, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Alex Parr, Dragonfly, The Body Barrelers, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, Panda24NN, Shendra D, Your Homeboy Bones, The Gator Family, Ellis Hatch, Odigenous, Beef Not Cheese, Kai Koa, Squire Solaire, Sandy Sassy Pants, Adam, Amira Lockhart, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.